For the second consecutive year, the Philadelphia Union have advanced to the quarterfinals of Leagues Cup. We'll tell you everything you need to know about the Union's 4-2 win over FC Cincinnati and give a look ahead at the opponent coming to Subaru Park on Saturday. All that and more as Union Insider starts now.
Takes the strike on, and it's off the inside of the post.
Ariel, who scores off the header from the set piece.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another edition of Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. I'm your host, Sage Hurley, and today I'm joined by former Union players Sebastian Latou and Sheanon Williams. How's it going, guys?
Fantastic. How are you, Sage?
I'm great. Happy to be here. Another Leagues Cup match and another familiar Eastern Conference foe for the Union, but this time and for the first time in Leagues Cup history, the Union were the visitors as they took on FC Cincinnati. The team has struggled in the Queen City in recent years. Before Tuesday's result, they had not won in TQL Stadium since it was opened in 2021. But as we all know, streaks are made to be broken. Here's how it all went down in Cincinnati on Tuesday night. This one had no shortage of action, and it started early in the 5th minute. Alejandro Bedoya hits a one-touch pass to Mikel Ua, who beats Cincy keeper Robin Celentano 1v1 for a shot, but after a lengthy review from VAR, it was ruled offside, and the match remained scoreless. In the 35th minute now, a great chance from Yuya Kubo and FC Cincinnati with Andre Blake out of net, but the Japanese midfielder hits it a bit wide and it rings off the post to help out Blake and keep this game 0-0, which remained the scoreline at half. The first 45 went scoreless, but the goals were aplenty in the second half, and it all started in the 51st minute. Daniel Gazdag flicks a ball into a cutting Mikel Ua, who hits it with his left and fires it past Celentano to give the Union a 1-0 lead. 10 minutes later, Ty Baribo has the ball to the right. He takes a step before sending it curling beautifully into the net for an amazing goal, and it gives the Union the 2-score advantage. But back comes FC Cincinnati after a shot attempt from Lucho Acosta is saved by Blake. FCC's Pavel Buka is there to tap it home, and just 5 minutes later, it's now a 1-goal game again. In the 80th minute, Acosta tiptoes the end line and sends one toward the net, where DeAndre Yedlin was able to tap it in past Blake and the Union defense. Just like that, the game is tied. So how did the Union respond to giving up their 2-goal lead? Well, they got the ball to Ty Baribo. Just a minute later, Quinn Sullivan sends in a cross that Baribo hits off a volley, beating Celentano to his right to give the Union back their lead as quickly as they lost it. And just 2 minutes after that, Quinn Sullivan rockets in a shot from the right side that Celentano saves, but the ball somehow finds its way back to Sullivan, and he booted it in to give the Union the 2-goal cushion for good this time, as they'd win 4-2 and advance to the quarterfinals of Leagues Cup for the second straight year. This game was absolutely wild. I don't know about you guys, but I'm still buzzing. What did you make of the Union's mental toughness to respond to Cincinnati's comeback effort?
It's something we didn't see a lot at the beginning of the year, and the fact when Cincinnati came back at 2-2, we were calling the game with Dave, and we were like, here we go again, we are going to fall apart, and Cincinnati's come back and going to win that game. But 1 minute after they scored the 2-2, we had a great reaction, from the team, scoring the third goal, right away, and it's something we didn't see a lot at the beginning of the season. So it's great to see that now we have a bigger mental toughness. We had like some 10-15 minutes a bit tough for the team where Cincinnati came back at 2-2, but a great reaction to get the win.
And it's been a whirlwind summer for Ty Baribo. From your perspective, what impact has he made on the Philadelphia Union summer campaign?
I mean, it's a great breeze of freshness for the team. We are all kind of sad to see Carranza leave, hearing from Jimmy Curtin, somebody coming for him. A lot of people were talking about who are we going to recruit, which is the next forward. But he was right here, from a year, in the team. Didn't play a lot, but as soon as he plays, he's scoring goals, not little goals, some bangers like he did against Cincinnati yesterday. So it was great to see him. But I hope with all the confidence he has, he's really carrying the offense right now of the Union, and we can kind of put a lot of pressure on his shoulder to keep scoring the goals.
For me, I think we have to give him a lot of credit. This is somebody that was struggling to make rosters, struggling to get any type of minutes behind Carranza, behind Ua, even behind Donovan at times. So he's come out. You talk about taking your chance, and he really took his chance and grasped his opportunity. credit to him. It's not easy when you're not playing games and you feel like you can impact the game in a good way. And now he's got 11 goals in 11 games, and you're seeing what he's been having in him this whole time sitting on the sideline. So a lot of credit to him staying mentally tough and making sure when he got his opportunity to take full advantage of it.
So every time the Philadelphia Union meets FC Cincinnati, it seems to unfold in a hard-fought, really intense battle. Where do you rank this one in the Union's best wins so far this season?
It's probably one of their, especially being good on the road. At the beginning of the year, we know we're undefeated, but this one was, I think, very good mentally. Like, he really bring a lot of toughness. We saw the first half of the Union, I think, was very good. We are just missing, the last pass, the last shot to be able to score 1 or 2 goals. Cincinnati hit the post, by Kubo, so we were like, okay, it's a good first half. But the second half, we start right away, and you score 4 goals on Cincinnati away. It's not something that I think Pat Noonan saw every day at his own stadium. So the fact they did this and the fact that they reacted well after Cincinnati came back into the game really show how the team is strong mentally now. Having everybody back, having Andre, I think, was huge again, making a lot of big saves in the second half to keep the team, into the game when they were up 2-0. It's all of those little things that we were missing at the beginning of the year who make the team, strong. So for me, it's a big win when Cincinnati, we all know, is one of the top teams in the East again this year.
What do you think, Sheanon?
Hopefully this signals them turning the page on the fragile state that they've been in. We've seen them give up a lot of leads. Even earlier this season, going down to Cincinnati and getting 2 goals scored on them in extra time. Hopefully they've now turned the page and have a little bit more mental fortitude now when they get into tough games to understand that they're still in the game and that they can actually take a win out of that game. And I saw them do that yesterday, obviously not wanting to get back to 2-2, but then having the fortitude again to come back, score 2 more goals and put that distance between them and Cincinnati again.
There was a lot to pick from, but one play against FC Cincinnati stood out a little bit more than the others, and it's earned the spotlight as our key play of the week, presented by Subaru. Sebastian Letou is at the monitor to break down Ty Baribo's 61st minute goal that gave the Union a 2-0 lead. Seba, take it away.
Thank you, Sage Hurley. I love when you call me Sebastian Letou. Love it. So for today, we are going to see Ty Baribo first goal of the game to give the lead, 2-0 for the Union. What I love about the play, it's kind of like we saw the first goal of Ua, the front 3 connected with each other. On this one, it's the same, but it's with a long ball, using Michael Ura's speed. So if you keep on playing right now the opportunity, Michael Ura do a good job, holding the ball. Kind of see Gazdag, find him into his feet. You see Baribo kind of like getting the space, but he doesn't go in the box. Eliminate his defender 1v1, and then it's just the beauty of what Baribo can do right now. He can see the defender, he's not committing, he's just coming inside to his right foot, and what even thinking, just curl it right away, and he upper 90, something that he could have maybe hit the stands. He could have maybe, missed by 2 feet, but when you are confident like that with Baribo, winning on the shoulder of the defender, just 2 quick touch, 1, 2, curling it, and it's exactly the way you want to have those 3 forwards, going counter-attack, connecting with each other. Gazdag with a great pass to the feet of Baribo. The defender Robinson cannot go close to Baribo to close him down. And then, the beauty of Baribo and his technique, curving the ball perfectly to the far post, gives the lead 2-0 for the Union. But it's something that we don't see a lot, this year with the Union going counter-attacks. But Cincinnati were attacking. They give some space in the back for Ua to hold the ball, find Gazdag quickly to Baribo, and he gives a 2-0 for the Union. But what a goal by Baribo, getting his first in the game. We could have done another video for his second one, but too many great goals so far from Baribo for the Union.
We've got more Union Insider for you in a bit, but first, here's your Union trivia question presented by United Concordia. Besides for the Union, who is the only other team to make the Leagues Cup quarterfinals in the tournament's first 2 years? Find out the answer later in the show. Welcome back to Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. The focus of the Union and the rest of the Major League Soccer world right now is the 2024 Leagues Cup tournament, and the Union have once again advanced to the quarterfinals, this time in the 2nd year of the tournament's existence. The undisputed star of the show for Philadelphia so far has been Ty Baribo, who scored 5 goals in the team's first 4 Leagues Cup games. He's on fire right now, but it hasn't always been easy for him. Less than 2 months ago, Ty Baribo hadn't scored a single goal for the Philadelphia Union. But when he finally earned his first start for the team on June 19th at none other than TQL Stadium, he made the most of his opportunity, scoring 2 momentous goals. And since then, he's boosted his total to 11 goals in as many games, making an immense impact on Philadelphia Union's summer campaign. So a Baribo brace tonight, and that makes 3 goals in Leagues Cup. But what does this team have to do to make a deep run in this tournament?
I think we need to show again the same soccer, maybe a little bit like, be more sharp in front of the goal. But I think we need to continue like this. We are in good run now, and again, the character. This is the most important thing. When there is some times in the game that things don't go like we want, but we fight, we win the ball, and I think this is our best.
I think Ty Baribo needs to be said. His work rate, incredible. Again, another good goal. But this version of Ty has been amazing to watch. He's tirelessly worked and fought for every minute, and from minute 1 to minute 90, he's a pain in the butt to play against, which is what we ask of our strikers.
I think the best is yet to come for Ty Baribo. But for now, that's all for this week's edition of Union Roundup, presented by Green Mountain Energy. Speaking of Leagues Cup, we'll keep the coverage rolling and look at what's to come for the Union in this week's bracket breakdown, presented by Subaru. The Union's win over Cincinnati on Tuesday means they have advanced to the quarterfinals of Leagues Cup, and they'll be facing Liga MX side Mazatlan at home on Saturday night. If they were to advance to the semifinals, they would face the winner of Columbus Crew versus NYC FC with a spot in the finals on the line. Now, this is the second year in a row the Union will be hosting a Liga MX side in the quarterfinals. How do you think they can use last year's experience to power them through this next matchup?
I mean, like last year, they're going to play at home, which I think is huge, to be at Subaru Park. They played last year Querétaro, which is not maybe the most famous Mexican team. This year is Mazatlan, kind of like the same type of team. So they just need to make sure they are serious, they have a great game plan, and they play at their full level. If they think it's going to be a bit easier than maybe if they play Cruz Azul, who lost against Mazatlan in PK in the last round, they might be in difficulty because Mazatlan is still a very good team. They are here, it's a quarterfinal. They're going to play, at their full strength, and the Union need to really be serious defensively first. But if they can, put some rhythm into that game at Subaru Park, hopefully we are going to have a bit more fans at that game than we're going to against Montreal CF. But it's a great opportunity, for the team to get again, to the semifinals than they did last year, and hopefully, we saw a good win against Mazatlan.
So head coach Jim Curtin has really rotated personnel so far in Leagues Cup. Do you foresee that being part of the game plan moving forward?
It's great, I think, for Jim to have a lot of difficulty now to make a starting lineup. He has pretty much everybody healthy. Maybe Baizo, from the last game against Cincinnati, who came out, in second half, replaced by Nathan Ariel, might not be available. I think it's a day-to-day right now for him since it's a short, turnaround for that game. But other than that, he has a lot of people available, which is great. We see more substitution, we see more, people getting an impact in the game. On the last one, he decided to start, with Bedoya on the right and Maglin on the left. He came back, with Flack and Sullivan, on the second half, who helped, with Sullivan a goal and an assist. So it's great for him to have that. So I think they're going to study Mazatlan, see what is the best matchup for them, and at the end, it's great, for the team to get this little healthy competition. So at the end, whoever is the starting 11 went to play their best to get, the best out of them and get the win.
For me, I think this will be a very similar game to last year's quarterfinal. I think Mazatlan will come in, sit deeper, and look to play off the counterattack, similar to what they did against Cruz Azul, getting 2 really good goals off the counterattack. I think that the Union need to do a really good job of making sure that they're good in possession with the ball, making the most of the opportunities that they get. I think that Jim will stick with a very similar lineup to what we saw against FC Cincinnati, with maybe a few changes, especially with Mbaizo having to come off and Harriel taking his place. Other than that, I expect the game to be very cagey. I expect them to come in and try to muddy up the game and make it an ugly game and see if they can't get on the nerves of this Philadelphia Union team, look to turn them over in bad spots, and then look to counter it off that.
So not to look too far ahead, but what potential matchups in Leagues Cup excite you the most? Not just for the Philadelphia Union, but for the entire bracket as a whole.
For me, I think anytime you get to play a team from New York City, we all know that Philly hates New York, so if we could play New York, I think that'd be a good matchup. I think that we match up well against New York City. I think Columbus is at the top of the league right now and doing really well, and that's not a team that I think this Union team matches up well with. So I think if I'm looking ahead and I'm looking past Madison, I think that I would rather play New York City.
Yeah, I mean both of team are good. We all know Columbus is very good at home, so I would like to play New York City FC in the semifinal, and then at the end, why not another LAFC? I would like to see maybe some Giroud action. My French compatriot who just joined the team, maybe playing against them, and we can see again one of the two best teams in the past 3 years. LAFC and Philadelphia being in the final again.
We're coming up on a break here for Union Insider, but when we return, we'll break down what the Union need to do to beat Mazatlan with some keys to the game. We'll be back after this. It's time for our Chick-fil-A Nugget of the Week. With his brace on Tuesday, Ty Baribo now leads the Leagues Cup Golden Boot race with 5 goals. This also ties him with Daniel Gazdag for the most Leagues Cup goals in club history. Welcome back to Union Insider, presented by Independence Blue Cross. It's time now to go over the team's next match as they host Mazatlan on Saturday night at Subaru Park. That being said, we'll need these guys to hand over their keys to the game presented by Subaru. Seba, what is your key to a Philadelphia Union win?
So I'm going to go, since we are playing back at home against Mazatlan, who is not maybe the most strongest team in the Liga MX. I would love to see the Union going straight away out of the block with a high press, putting the ball in the half of Mazatlan. Don't let them come out, on a goal kick when they start playing, because we always are very good, turning the team over, especially at home in the past couple of games. We are scoring some goals, and I love to see Baribo, Ua, Adeniran if he plays, and Gazdag, being connecting first, and then having the line, push right behind them to win those, second ball and be able to go a quick, attack on the goal of Mazatlan. So if we can do that the first 15 minutes and then choosing, the moment when everybody feels right to do it, it's where I think the team can be very successful against Mazatlan.
What do you think, Sheanon?
For me, my key is going to be to do a good job in transition. I think this Mazatlan team is going to come in, sit in a really low block, and look to counterattack against this Union team, looking to pick off little passes in the back and see if they can't get a goal that way, and then sit deep for the rest of the game. If the Union do a good job in transition, making sure that they don't let Mazatlan out of their own half and making sure that they win the ball back and start their attack again, I think that they'll be able to win this game and move on to the next round.
Sheanon, this is a team that the Philadelphia Union have never faced before. How does preparation change for a matchup like this?
Obviously, they're going to do their scouting and go through and see what their weaknesses, what their strengths are. It's really important that in those meetings that the team keys in on what they're good at, what they need to do to expose this team, and then go from there. If they stick to the game plan, I'm sure Jim will come up with a good game plan going into the game. Then I think that they can, again, move on to the next round and hopefully continue to advance in this Leagues Cup.
Yeah, and for me, knowing the game on Cincinnati, if there's one thing they could have done better, it's even if they are up 1 or 2-0, don't stop playing. Keep playing, in a high tempo. Keep the ball moving. Go for the next goal. Don't believe it's going to be, an easy win and we can just sit back and drop, the line like they did against Cincinnati. So I will say that. Keep being who you are with a diamond in the midfield. Play your way, but like Sheanon said, you just need to know, the 1, 2, 3 things at Mazatlan or the player who are very good to make sure that they know what to do when the ball arrives for them.
And it was a busy weekend for Leagues Cup in general, so let's take a look at some other big moments in this week's Around the League presented by Torque. It was shaping up to be a battle between two quality teams from different leagues, but the Seattle Sounders took it to Pumas on Monday night with a convincing 4-0 win to send their Liga MX opponents home as they advanced to the quarterfinals as well. And in what seemed like a round of comebacks, no teams was more impressive than Columbus Crew. Down 2-0 to the defending champs Inter Miami in the second half, the Crew came back to tie it. Then this Diego Rossi goal in the 80th minute gave them the lead for good as they took down Miami 3-2. When Union Insider returns, Seba and Sheanon will give us their players to watch for Saturday's match as the Union hosts Mazatlan in the quarterfinals. We'll be back after the break. Here's the answer to this week's Union Trivia question presented by United Concordia. LAFC is the only other team besides the Union to advance to the Leagues Cup quarterfinals in the first 2 years of the tournament's existence. Final segment here on Union Insider presented by Independence Blue Cross. Let's put a bow on this episode. We need some all-state players to watch. Seba, who will you have your eye on come Saturday night?
I'm going to go my eye on Daniel Gazdag. I think, the fact that he played very well, the past game. We didn't see him, being on the score sheet, but he's here, to really be the number 10 of the team and feed the player like Ua on the first goal in Cincinnati. The second goal, he gives a pass to Baribo. It's what you want from Daniel Gazdag, who sometimes when playing a little bit too high, almost on the same lines as the forward. But right now, you can really see him, being on the ball, getting the attack, of the Union when you need him to come a little bit deeper and start a good opportunity for the team. So if we can have a good Daniel Gazdag, being kind of like the maestro of the offense for the Union, it's something I think good for us, because then we can have, the help on the side, from Kai Wagner and Ariel, but having Gazdag, being the one giving those right passes that sometimes we were kind of missing in the first half against Cincinnati to get the last pass right.
Sheanon, who is your player to watch?
My All-State player to watch this week is none other than Ty Baribo. 5 goals in Leagues Cup. This is going to be a game that I think we're going to need somebody to be really good in the opposing 18-yard box, and it's been him, not only in Leagues Cup but also in Leagues play before that. Can he continue to get on the score sheet and continue to fire this team to the next round?
That'll do it for this one. The Union are home to host Mazatlan in the quarterfinals of Leagues Cup on Saturday at Subaru Park. You can watch the match on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV or listen on 97.5 The Fanatic with none other than Dave Leno and Seba. For all of us here in the studio, I'm Sage Hurley. We'll see you next time.